Hi, my name is Dale Adams of Planning Ahead of Time, and this week I'm speaking with Julie from Fiesta Farewell on this Pat Chat. Julie, would you like to tell us about yourself and what it is you're doing?
Good afternoon, Dale. Yes, I am Julie Hughes. I am a entrepreneur and founder of Fiesta Farewell. It's been 2 years in the making, so lots of research has gone into it, and it will be and is already live, an online directory to help people plan their own funeral.
Okay. Well, yes, you and I met probably a year or so at least ago now at the Dead Good Death Festival in Coventry, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And that was a really lovely day as well. It was really beautiful and sunny. And we had a really detailed chat. And I told you about my ideas, and you were very, oh my God, the words got out my head.
Oh, I'm glad it's
Sorry.
not just me. I'm glad it's not just me that does
Oh,
that.
I hate the
Yes.
menopause. It's rubbish.
Yes. Well, I think supportive, maybe. I don't know. Enthusiastic about what you were doing.
You
'Cause I
were
think
very, yes.
yeah,
And
we
you
were
were
both
very
looking at
enthusiastic.
we were both looking at ways of helping people, weren't we, with the thought of end of life and planning around death. So
Absolutely, and I do remember talking to you about it and explaining the ideas that I had behind Fiesta Farewell. That I wanted it to be somewhere where local people could find local services to help them plan their funerals. It's not just about end of life care, but for those people that are approaching end of life to be able to make some decisions about what they want, to take the burden away from their friends and their families, and just to express in their own way how they want those people that they're leaving behind to remember them. So, it could be a choice of whether it's a burial or cremation. If it's a burial, what type of burial would you like? Would you like a green burial? Do you want a church service? Do you not want a service? You don't have to have a service. It could be in your garden, for example. What sort of celebrant would you like? If you want a celebrant, and again, you don't have to have one. If you want a cremation, where do you want to be cremated? Do you want a service before the cremation, or do you want a celebration of life afterwards? And these are just some of the simple questions that Fiesta Farewell will be asking by using a flow chart, if you like, to get people to think about what they would like and how they would like to be remembered.
okay. So at the moment, I've gone onto your website very briefly because it's not long gone live, and you have a directory of people that you're saying is sort of in the local Warwickshire area. So at the moment, this is sort of your focus.
Yeah, it's the focus at the moment because I'm in Warwickshire. I've worked in Warwickshire for the last 30 odd years. So my background is I'm a probate advisor. I set up my own probate advice company 5 years ago, based in Rugby. So it's called Hughes Probate Services. I found that working with my clients more and more, helping them get all of their financial um, matters in order before they were passing, and there were questions coming about how to organise a funeral, what to do if mum were to die at home, when and where do I register the death, what sort of information do I need to do that, and I started to think more and more about what local people needed, and about 18 months ago, I lost a really close friend. And she and I had been talking about her own funeral planning. And I was trying to find things online that she wanted to use. She wanted to find to be able to pass on to her family and friends. And it was so incredibly difficult. So at that time, I'd already mentioned about Fiesta Farewell. I'm not even sure if I got the name at that point. But she said to me, "This is so important. You're helping me do this, and we can't find the information that we need. You need to do it. It needs to be local." So the idea with the directory comes from Helen, that there are local businesses and local services that people don't necessarily know about that they can find in one place, and they can choose if they want to, and they will be able to favourite those services so that they're stored on the Fiesta Farewell website to help guide their family and friends when the time comes.
I mean, these conversations are so important, and most of the people that I speak to, we all agree that actually planning ahead of time is crucial, and it really is something that people need to be doing when they're healthy, when they're fit and active. Obviously, if they are becoming older and poorly, then it's really important to just be having conversations with family and friends about what you like, what you don't like, and helping them. Because one of the hardest things, as we know, I make no secret, I work as a psychic medium. One of the hardest things for people who come to me after somebody has died is, did I do the right thing? No. Are they okay? Because that's when people are making decisions and they don't know. They don't know if they're making the right decision a lot of the time, because nobody's given them that heads up and that information that they need. So they're guessing. And then that can leave them feeling really confused and uncomfortable as to was it right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dale. A lot of my clients, when I'm working with them from the probate side, have said to me, if only I knew what my mum, my dad, my brother, my sister wanted, it would have made it so much easier. And it's all well and good saying, well, write it down on a piece of paper. But you know as well as I do, pieces of paper get lost. The writing can be shaky. You can't always understand it. Or, there's something that they're asking for specific. You've got no idea where they came up with that idea. So by having Fiesta Farewell in the background, it's a tool to be able to help people organise. So it'll have a space for that person to write down their wishes, and it'll have the opportunity of telling family and friends something that they might not have known before they died. And a lot of people, although they may know they're going to pass, particularly if they have a terminal illness, they don't always know if they can approach their family or friends to talk about it. It's a very difficult time and can be a dark time for people. And when you're talking about someone's funeral, everyone deals with it in different ways. And it's starting the grief process sooner than some people would like that to happen. So this way, I wanted it to be a gentle way of helping everyone think about what that person wants and putting them at the forefront, because it really is the last time they're going to have control of something that they're going to leave behind. And I do believe that by them choosing, it helps them go in a much quieter, peaceful way, knowing that they've left something behind for their family and friends.
I absolutely think planning brings peace of mind. Absolutely 100% agree with you. Because when and as you say, it's part of controlling your own life, isn't it? And I class it as you can control your life to your last breath and beyond, because we are planning beyond our last breath. So we want to know how we're going to be cared for, looked after, and what's going to happen until we die. And then when we die, maybe what's going to happen with our body, how that's going to be sort of dressed and cared for until the funeral, and then what's going to happen at the funeral, and obviously with any finances, the estate, etc. So end of life planning encompasses it all. And I think that it's really important that people have that control. So I do agree with you there very much.
The website's going to have some guides on there as well, and blogs and articles. And I really want the suppliers to bring me their products and their bespoke services, and really show off what they can do to help someone's memory live on. And by doing that, there's a whole section called Ways to Remember Someone. And I know that I've got some memorialists, some jewelers, some sewing ladies that do, make memory bears, whether it's a bespoke urn to hold someone's ashes in. Those are all going to be on there, so that it's not just about the planning, it's about what happens at the funeral and then what happens with the ashes or the body afterwards. I'm quite keen to get different coffin makers on there, because there are so many different things out there that you can have. You know, if it's a green burial, you've got to consider that it's compostable. And there are different coffins out there, and there are some amazing shroud makers. I mean, I've seen some are just absolutely gorgeous. Who wouldn't want to be in one of those? And it's about finding the right burial ground as well, where you are. You know, there are some lovely burial grounds around, and there are some lovely natural places to store your ashes. And I would really love those suppliers to be on there so that they can share their story. And I have said to quite a few of them, I'd like to work with you to be able to get a blog on there, you know, to put a video on to show people what it is, where it is, and how you can help the family come to terms with their grieving. Because a lot of places that you put your ashes, or you scatter them, or you have a green burial, they're really peaceful places and should be enjoyed, because that's where you're putting yourself, your person that you loved. You want them to be in a nice area that is good for you to visit and to feel that they're still with you.
No, that's really lovely. Now, you were talking about people can store information on there. So is that right? They can actually store their wishes, or is it something that you're creating where they can create their wishes and store them elsewhere?
Yeah, it's a big space on the website, and I've got an exceptional website team who are very good at security and making sure that we are well serviced in making sure that nobody can kind of get in and hack us, and all the website stuff is dealt with by them. I just tell them what I want. But basically, it enables somebody to have a login and to create a favourite list of their favourite place, jewellery, for example. And eventually, we're going to have a secure area where we can upload documentation such as a copy of your will, maybe a copy of an insurance policy, and to have all of your online passwords and login details. So that what I'd really like to see is that when people are making their wills, they can refer to the Fiesta Farewell website with their login and their password, knowing that it's in a secure area in their document, and the executors can then pick it up, go into their section of the site, and can see exactly what they wanted to plan. And from the security, from our point of view of making sure that we are checking that that person has passed away, we'll be asking for documents like a death certificate and ID for the executors to make sure that they are the right people to pass that information on to.
Yeah, when something I was looking at, obviously that's sort of crucially important with your questions of when people are setting up and creating their membership as such, then to make sure that obviously everything is ticked, because it is crucial and confidential information. And people putting that anywhere, there is always that concern over, is it protected, is it secure, who has access to the information that's being held obviously in the administration area on website. So definitely good that you said obviously you've got all that side of it nailed down, because it's a big concern for people. But that's lovely. So what other plans do you have for it?
Well, I've I've got some more bigger plans, including multicultural funerals and planning and celebrations as well. So at the moment, we're kind of working through the kind of normal, if you can call it normal, the normal procedure of what you do, and this is how we do it. But of course, we live in such a multicultural country, and not everybody's religious either. So it's about trying to make sure that we are pointing people in the right direction, and having some other cultures on there and other religions. Now, I've spoken to both the Polish, the Indian communities, and many. and they're kind of pointing me in the right direction as to how they do their celebration, how they do their funerals. So what I'd like to do is to have a section on the website that directs those individuals to their particular services, their needs, their wants. Now, I understand that there are different people that deal with different parts of that. So I'm kind of looking into it, and it's all kind of new and it's really exciting. And I had no idea that in some cultures they actually wear white to a funeral, whereas for us in a Victorian style, we tend to wear black. So it's been really good. It's been really interesting. It's been a whole process. And then we've also had some people ask me for a pet section. Pets are very important to families. And again, it's one of those where people don't always know what the options are when their pet's poorly or what they can do with the ashes. So, yeah.
And these days, there are some places such as Mid England Barrow where you can put your pet's ashes and your human ashes all in one of the niches together. So which often doesn't happen. You've got pet cemeteries and human cemeteries, but obviously these days they can actually be put together in certain places, which is lovely. But pets is huge. People love their pets sometimes more than they love the humans around them. Pets are our family. It's true though, isn't it? They absolutely are our family and they live with us for years. And when they die, it's crushing. And I think having that as well, it's all part of it, isn't it?
It is. It is difficult when you lose a pet. They are with you for a long time. And like you say, some people don't have family members that they want to spend their time with, but they're very happy with their pets. And they are part of the family. I've got a little dog, and I love him to pieces. And when he goes, I know exactly where he's going to go. He's still only 7 though, so hopefully he'll be around for a little bit longer. But I know of friends that have lost, guinea pigs and mice, right down to horses, and they all are part of us. They're all part of our lives and they all matter. And having, like you say, at the Barrow, it's a beautiful place. It's absolutely stunning. And to have the ashes with your human ashes as well, just gives peace of mind. And it's comforting.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you've still got a lot of building of so many ideas that you have into what you're doing. But that I very much believe in planning, storing, having that information available to loved ones and relatives, and being able to talk more about dying, death, loss and grief, because it's what I do all the time and it's absolutely what I advocate for. So thank you so much for having this chat with me, Julie. If people want to get hold of you, find out more about it, how do they do that?
The website is www.fiestafarewell.com. My email is info@fiestafarewell.com. And they can also find me on Facebook under Fiesta Farewell and on LinkedIn as well. Thank you for having me, Dale. I really appreciate the time you've taken to look at the website and to learn about us. If anybody would like to have a look at the website and give me their feedback, I would really welcome it, because at the end of the day, it won't work without suppliers being on there offering their products and services, and the users wanting to plan and prepare and know what they would like to be on there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that you've nailed all the handles. Everything's Fiesta Farewell. That's perfect. It makes it very, very easy for people. I love that. So brilliant, Julie. Thank you ever so much. And I'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you very much, Dale.